Hey guys, how you doing? Today I wanted to speak about the subject of how do you respond to a compliment? Well, it depends on the compliment. The thing is it's always kind of weird for me when people give compliments, just because you never know if it's going to be genuine or if it's not going to be genuine. What does that mean? Well, I come from a basis of theater, where you perform a lot on stage, and obviously your peers are often going to be, at least in class and stuff, they do like to give compliments. And sometimes I don't know how to take them, because you know that maybe you didn't work on that scene long enough, or you could have done better. And that's also me maybe judging myself too much, because sometimes you did give it your best shot and you did try your best, but you do feel that at the same time maybe it's not the best you've done, but then you get a compliment on it and you're like, oh gee, thank you. So how should you react to that? Well, it's really up to you. Usually I just say, oh thank you, gee, great, and give them a nice smile, because I don't want to contradict people. You know, people are trying to be nice, but at the same time it always makes me wonder how can I get a real compliment? Because what's funny is when you put stuff on internet, or you show stuff to people, you're kind of putting yourself out there. You're putting your opinions and you're putting your face and you're putting whatever thing out there, and it's sometimes tough because maybe you say something too and you didn't mean anything bad by it, but it's against what people are thinking at the time, and you can get really criticized by it. And I'm by no means any celebrity at the moment, and even then sometimes comments can be really harsh, which is kind of funny, because in real life people usually smile at you and say, wow, that was amazing, etc. And then when you're on the internet, you get a lot of trolls that just like to complain about stuff and give you sometimes some really harsh comments. There's positive too, some positive stuff too, of course, but I do think it's kind of funny how there's those two extremes. And what I want to think and what I like is something genuine. If you liked something, you say, whoa, that was amazing, great. But if you don't, maybe don't say that was amazing. Just say, oh cool, you did your best. Or maybe if you have some constructive criticism, that's fine too. But sometimes that's hard also, because maybe the person's not really looking for constructive criticism, and we're looking for a thing to express, like kind of like what I'm doing now in a way. People like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just trying to learn how to express myself a little better, tell a story, explain myself, and get me out of my shell, if that makes sense. And it's also something that's creative to do, and it's some people write journals. I do vlogs. And yeah, so that's a way for me to enjoy my walks, and also for myself to walk basically. And yeah, but going back to the subject of compliments, it's really hard. Of course, there's the other extreme, which now I've been talking about complimenting in theater, but of course there's other kind of compliments where there's been this whole outbreak in our society where now people are very careful because of people that were saying very bad stuff to women and stuff like that, and taking advantage of them in a lot of the media and Hollywood world, if that makes sense. So now people are being very respectful of that, even too much. And people are scared to say what they feel. And yes, that kind of complimenting, when they say kind of rude things to a woman, or it could be to a guy too, and just complimenting them in a sexual way, and something that's maybe out of bounds in the job related field or anywhere really, and that's being disrespectful. So that's a double-edged sword, that it's kind of, is it a compliment or is it not? It's not really, because they say you're smoking hot, but the way that it's said is kind of rude and a little bit disrespectful. But I can almost blame it sometimes on the media, because if you watch rap videos and just a lot of those gimmicky books about pickup lines and stuff like that, people feel that they have to open to someone in that way. But the secret is just to be genuine and not to sexualize anyone, really. It can happen to anyone, really, be it male or female, but more so on females for some reason, which is a bad thing. And those kind of compliments, I wouldn't take them well, because they're not compliments. They're basically insults, and for some reason, some people who have power, or some people that just want to look macho, or whatever it is, they want to show off and show their power by saying these things, and see how far that takes them. And the sad thing is that sometimes people who have these powers, they are in a position where basically, how can I say, they a lot of people accept that, and they don't dare say anything, and some women or men will probably do the things that they ask, and it only takes one out of these people to speak up for the other people to start speaking up too, and getting the courage to say things. But that is not a compliment. But for a genuine compliment, where you're in the theater or somebody just says you have a nice smile, or beautiful day, or just, you could say you have a beautiful dress, or whatever it is, sometimes that's cool, and that's really awesome, because you're complimenting someone for whatever it is. And there's always a compliment to say, I feel, and that could make their day, because you don't know how their day was. Maybe they had the worst day ever, and you just giving that simple little compliment, but not expecting more from that, if that makes sense, will just make that person smile. And why not? Those are actually kind of cool things. So that's my point. Again, I think what it comes down to is, if it's disrespectful, hell no, that's not good. If it's a genuine compliment, cool, I love that. That makes your day. If it's a supportive compliment, thank you, but maybe I'd prefer some constructive criticism, or even better, don't say anything. Just say, cool, you performed, or cool, you made that short film, or whatever it is. So that's my point. But either way, again, it's however you interpret things. Your world is whatever you make of it in some way. So if you decide that something's offensive, it's offensive. If you just, most of the time, it doesn't even matter. These people are not people that are very impactful in your life anyways. So if it's something you don't like, you can just brush it off your shoulder and move on with your life, and don't even think about it, because they obviously didn't really think about it. It just took 2 seconds to say 2 words, and then you shouldn't make a hullabaloo out of it. Just move on with your life, and live the positive life that you want to live, if that makes sense. So that's all I have to say on the subject. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.